This is Wani, China's disturbing frozen face girl. The frozen face girl.
You were probably going outside playing with your friends or doing your homework, and the only thing you had to worry about is if your crush liked you back. They probably didn't. But imagine if there was one
He probably didn't. Nope. Nope. Did not.
kid in your class who would spend all her time outside of school getting plastic surgery. Today, I want to tell you a
Levi, I want body cam of Parliament session of Supreme Court judges, which would be fun. Yeah. Them being idiotic.
jaw-dropping story
Everyone
of
there.
a girl who changed her entire face during childhood. A
What? I'm gonna go back to that. Why? Why would you do that to yourself? It's you go from this just being a child to this. Give yourself the Michael Jackson nose. You edit the eyelids to where they're like my wife's eyes. She literally has giant eyes. Honestly, if me and my wife have a girl, probably be more like this. Because these are more like my eyes. I have very, very narrow eyes. My wife's eyes are like open. It'll be a reverse Harry Potter. The kids will have my eyes, but everything else, even the brain, will be from the wife. Be from the wife.
her entire face during childhood. A 13-year-old girl who was bullied in school and thought the only way to overcome this was to get plastic surgery. And when she did, people started treating her better, so she continued to get more and more. From her face to her head, you name it, she's done it. And all of this eventually led to her suffering from memory loss. Meet Zhou Chuna, aka Zoe, the youngest person in China to ever get plastic surgery. Now, Zoe was born into a wealthy family in Shanghai, meaning money wasn't something plastic surgery. Now,
that if this doesn't give you nightmares, I don't know what will. There's got to be some kind of filter on here. Because this is just... Miss Scribbler, if you're watching, you're gonna not sleep well. Oh my gosh. And it's tragic. From 13 years old. 13 years old, being a part of a rich family, and there was nothing wrong with her. She was just bullied.
In China to ever get plastic surgery. Now, Zoe was born into a wealthy family in Shanghai, meaning money wasn't something she had to think about. No stress about paying the bills or feeding the family, so logically you'd think that her childhood would be pretty smooth. But when she was around 13, her parents sent her to a top international school. And that's where the canon event begins. Imagine walking into a school where everyone is stylish, trendy, and everyone is probably a mini influencer. And taking a look at Zoe on the other hand, she had single eyelids, a flatter nose, and darker skin compared to her classmates. Now, none of these are problems, okay? But her classmates...
Yeah, that they're not an issue. They're not an issue. That there's nothing wrong with being a darker skin tone. There's nothing wrong with having I don't even know, braces or thinner eyes or like I don't know. There's nothing wrong.
They started calling her names. Things like dark-skinned girl, squinty-eyed girl. The boys in her class would literally give her the worst and dirtiest tasks during cleanup. Pretty much they're treating her like she's at the bottom of their social hierarchy. And because of that, this is the moment where she begins to feel, maybe the problem is my face. So she goes home and tells her parents what's happening, and this is the part where the parents should step in and say, those kids are wrong. You're fine. You don't need to change. But nah, her mom looked at her and said, it's one thing that your grades are bad in school, but you also don't look good either compared to your classmates. So what good are you anyway? Now, that's not just Asian parenting. You're just bullying your child. So now in her...
Like, it's just like, yeah, if grades are bad, I could understand, but then you're demeaning the looks. Like, Asian parenting, it's always the joke where well, India's in Asia. You always, like, your grades have to be good. Your grades have to be good. Your grades have to be good. I mean, my wife had to go through that. Her grades were always top of the marks. But then again, she's a genius. And my grades were like, just passing. Because I didn't care. Barely went to school to begin with until I did independent studies. But yeah, it's just like, it's so freaking insane that it was like, they were like, oh, your grades are bad, but you're also unattractive. Let's pay for your surgery. What place in the world would actually do, well, never mind. I was going to say literally butcher a child's face at like the age of 13, but in the US, literally children can go into a hospital at the age of 12 and have their privates mutilated when they don't even understand. Like, so this isn't as bad as what the US parents do. So I'll give it a pass. I'll give it a pass. I was thinking about it. I'm just like, oh my gosh, the US is cooked, absolutely cooked, because right now it's the children that are getting their privates mutilated, not just their face, not just their face. Oh.
Never mind, it's not people are being mean. It's they're right. So since then, she starts fantasizing about waking up one day with a completely new face, a new identity, a whole new life, having fair skin and perfect features. But she wasn't just thinking about it. She was planning it. So at 13, she asked her parents for plastic surgery, and they say no, which finally a normal response, but Zoe is too deep in it at this point. She threatened to quit school if they didn't let her get surgery. If you don't let me do this, I'm gonna drop out. And when that doesn't work, she goes full McLovin mode and borrows IDs from adults to try to get procedures done. Her father obviously tries to stop her, saying that she's too young and, you should wait until you're 18. So she threatens to cut off their father-daughter relationship. And at that point, the pressure really got to them. Her parents fold, and her mom's like, which part do you want to get done? I'll take you to the hospital. Enter the first surgery, the moment she says goodbye to herself. At 13 years old, Zoe undergoes her first procedure, the double eyelid surgery. Her eyes now look bigger, more defined, and more in line of what she calls beautiful in her environment. So she goes back to school, and suddenly the boys who were bullying her, they're nice and friendly now. Y'all really some fake bitch. So now she sees the direct proof that people treat you better when you look better. And the mindset
the face filter on it
inevitably switches to, if one surgery did this, what happens if I do more? So what's the next move? At this point, she's around 14 years old, and she looks at her nose and goes, yeah, this doesn't match my new eyes. And just like that, rhinoplasty. No hesitation. And over the next 2 years, she got 8 surgeries on her eyes and 6 surgeries on her nose. Okay. 8 times on your eyes. And it shows. Zoe, it's not looking too good. What's really disturbing about this is that she starts looking older and older the more procedures she gets, because if you look at these photos, she doesn't even look like she's in her teens anymore. If anyone still thinks I looked good as a child, they might be blind. I suggest they get their eyes checked. So Zoe's second home is basically the cosmetic clinic now, and she even says that she's more familiar with that than her own house. And I'm not even exaggerating when I'm saying this started to become her entire routine, because every day after school, her full-time job was to just modify her face to her liking. She started injecting hyaluronic acid to raise her nose bridge and Botox to slim down her face, and then she leveled up into the high-risk procedures like cheekbone shaving and the high cranial top surgery to put fillings in your head. And keep in mind, she's still growing. Her bones aren't even fully developed yet, and she's already like, yeah, let's shave some of that off. And here's a sneak peek of like a whole list of procedures that she's had so far. Now, in one of the bigger procedures, it involved her going into a 10-hour full-face plastic surgery room. And during the surgery, they used so much anesthesia to the point where after it was done, her mom couldn't even wake her up. She had no response, no reaction, and she only opened her eyes 8 hours after. Of course, her mom was terrified, but Zoe didn't care. The first thing she did when she woke up was grab a mirror to see if she looked prettier. And apparently her face wasn't enough. So she expanded to doing liposuction, chest augmentation, rib removals, all while she's still a teenager. What should I do, babies? I've messed up again. Because I overdid it, one side of my face is now twitching. I can only move half of my face to talk. My face is crooked, my nose is crooked, and my implants are misaligned. I am a paralyzed child. So at this point, she's 16 years old, and in these past 2 years, she had overgone 380 surgeries. She even had over 20 cantoplasties, which are eye corner surgeries.
Why are we watching this? It's a horror. It's a horror. It's a horror. It's like one of those car crashes you just can't look away. It's so tragic though. Like if this was an adult, I think I'd feel differently, but it's the fact that it was a 13-year-old girl ruining her future, her life. Like, she started plastic surgery. Whatever happened to her education? She spends all her freaking time now going and getting surgeries. No time at home. She goes to school, then goes to the doctor's office to correct a procedure. What happened to her studying? Like, I thought that was the big issue, her grades. But now she's not going to have any good grades. What the?
To make your eyes bigger. I mean, it looks like her eyes can see into the future. And when people asked her if she regrets anything, she said, the only thing I regret is not starting sooner. Honestly, I'm starting to like her more and more. And because she was from a
250,000 views and
wealthy
like
family,
12,000
she had the funds
likes
to just keep on going. And at 16 years old, she spent around 3 to 4 million yuan on cosmetic surgeries. That is around $400,000 to $600,000. Instead of buying...
Gosh. Donate me? Come on, rich, paralyzed, or eternally old, but never grown up child. Donate me some cash. I won't get any work done, but I'd enjoy the cash.
A house, going to college, investing, doing literally anything else. She puts all of it into changing her face and body. Oh, and her pink Ferrari that she flexes in every post and almost hits a cop once. And she expressed her entire belief system. Beautiful people have youth, while ugly people are just growing up. Basically, she saw beauty as the only way to experience life fully. So every time she changed something, she would take selfies, post it online, get likes, get attention, and feel validated. And rinse and repeat. The cycle never ends. At only 16 years old, I possess beauty and a figure that many people don't even have at 26. I'm so tired. She even joined online groups with other girls who were also obsessed with plastic surgery. They called themselves plastic surgery sisters, and they treated it like it was a competition. Like, okay, what upgrade are you getting next? I'll be upgrading my jaw. And slowly but surely, Zoe was pushing her body to its limits. I mean, after 380 procedures, I'm sure your body is telling you to slow it down. You know, maybe just a bit, Zoe. Okay, well, it starts fighting back because one of the major side effects that she first got was memory loss, which is horrifying. This was because her brain was affected by the constant anesthesia after every procedure. And her skin also started sagging all over her body due to the excessive liposuction she had to shrink her waist down. So instead of body goals, it's creating a whole set of new problems. And what do people usually do when a surgery creates a flaw? You get more surgery. She thought her face was too square, like Steve. So she got jaw shaving surgery. And because of that, her facial nerves were damaged, meaning that she couldn't make any facial expressions at all. Her face was stuck and frozen in place pretty much. And it somehow gets worse. Because of the repeated cantoplasties, those eye-widening surgeries that she did over like 20 times, her eyes were stretched so much and so wide apart that she can't even fully close them when she sleeps. Yeah, sleeping with your eyes halfway opened. Was it worth it? At this point, doctors pretty much told her that the damage was irreversible.
gosh.
The scars, the nerve tissues, the entire structure of your face was permanent now. And of course, netizens do what netizens love to do. They started calling her plastic surgery monster. They joked that she looks 60 years old despite being a teenager. They are obviously Martians, and they came up with this way to blend in with humans. Free admission to the haunted house. But here's where the story takes a turn, because after this all blew up, Zoe steps on a stage on a show called Super Speaker Youthful Days. She gives a speech called The Price of Plastic Surgery. And for the first time ever, she actually sounds self-aware. She admits on TV that she had hundreds of procedures since she was 13. She spent over 4 million yuan, and she redid her eyes 8 times and her nose 6 times. More shockingly, she confessed that she was happier with her original face than the one after surgery, saying that she tried to fix it, but it was too late.
有一次我开完下眼角，第二天刚睡醒的时候，我拿起镜子一照，发现眼睛里面满是血泪，血不停地从眼睛里面流出来。我特别害怕，然后我就只能在我意识还清醒的时候拍了一张照片发给我的主刀医生。没想到他只是轻描淡写、心平气和地说了一句：“没关系，你只是眼睛开得太大了，他自己愈合就好了。”
Open your eyes
我为了
too
确保
wide.
这些情况，我跑遍了北京、上海、广州、深圳所有公立医院，但是医生给我的评价和回复都如出一辙。他们说，没有办法，有些东西是不可逆的，无法修复。
And during all of this, it does seem like she's trying to raise awareness for people just like her. She told others to not blindly follow the same path and to appreciate their features, and to understand that the price of beauty is irreversible. That is the most self-aware thing that she said in this entire journey. Cherish your body. I'm still so young, and my memory has declined because I had over 80 general anesthesias in 2 years. She even ends it off with, instead of getting plastic surgery, I should have gotten my brain fixed. And people watching were stunned. I mean, some genuinely felt bad for her, some were even crying, and others saw her as a warning sign of what social pressure and beauty standards can do to young people. And this clip went viral after that. Everybody loved it. Everybody was cheering for Zoe.
And then she got more plastic
surgery. She finally
surgery.
learned her lesson. I'm proud. But shortly after the show, she makes a post saying, I'm going to get plastic surgery again. Sorry. What? After everything we just went through? Zoe, why are we giving mixed signals? Although I tell everyone online every day to say goodbye to appearance anxiety, I myself am genuinely anxious about my appearance every single day. Go, go, go. I want to become the most beautiful girl in the world. So now netizens are like, wait, were you serious on stage? Or were you just doing it for attention? So now they start calling her a fake fraud. You used the sad story to gain sympathy, then immediately contradicted it. And it gets worse because after this, people found out that she had fan groups where teenagers would ask her about procedures and she would guide them like a mentor to help them schedule it. Like as if she's tutoring them on which surgeries to get. But then people started blaming her mom for this because from the beginning, her mom was the one supporting it. Every year when Zoe returned home to their family reunion dinner, her grandfather would always see her with a completely different face. So he'd always try to persuade her mom to tell her to stop doing it or at least make it look more natural. And her dad is also like, you know, you're embarrassing us. Why are you doing this? And you know what she says? I just look too much like my dad. If my dad were more handsome, I wouldn't have gotten surgery. It's all my dad's fault. Okay, She's still like 16 or 17 here, so her brain's not fully developed yet. But that is one crazy thing to say to your Asian dad. If I said that, I'd be banished to the underground concubines of the Yang Dynasty. Eventually, the whole situation blows up even more because she kept posting transformation photos on Xiaohongshu and Douyin. She starts getting brand deals, TV shows start inviting her, and slowly but surely, being the youngest person in China to get plastic surgery starts becoming her entire brand. It just shows that everything Zoe had done so far was just to get attention, and she sacrificed her face, her entire teenage years for that. If anything, the money that was poured into her surgeries was an investment for her becoming an influencer. So where's Zoe now? Well, I mean, recently she got invited to this fashion event where she's looking as fresh as ever. She's still active, still posting online, but most importantly, she does not plan to stop getting plastic surgery. And looking at Zoe's entire journey, if somebody stepped in earlier like her mom or maybe a close friend, the whole story could have ended different.
What close friend?
But instead, it led to long-term side effects like memory loss, which, I mean, at such a young age, we don't even know how bad it can get later on in her life. And well, just like Zoe said before, she started switching up on us, the price of beauty is irreversible.
Yeah, that's just, oh my gosh, that stuff is just like she's a completely fake human being, a completely fake human being. But that's the sad part. Like, a lot of people just end up that way. A lot of people just end up that way. They just go down that rabbit hole. They go down that rabbit hole and end up just, oh my gosh. That's crazy. That's absolutely insane. I honestly, I can't. That's just disgusting. It's just disgusting. I can't stand that. I can't stand that. That's just absolutely disgusting. People need to step in and stop these people. There have to be self-help groups. The problem is, I doubt she ever really had friends. She never had friends. And then she joined, like, again, that's the same problem that happens here. It used to be, again, I don't agree with like bullying, and especially in like Asian cultures, bullying can get to some extent. Sure, it can in the West too, but like I've seen like Korean films which show like some of that OG bullying where it's insane, where rich kids literally pick on the poor kids. And heck, I went to a rich kids school when I was a poor kid, and I never really experienced any of that. But it's crazy. And I don't think my brothers really experienced that either, but I don't know entirely. Maybe some of them did. But it is so freaking crazy that now in days, people who used to be able to find at least one close friend or find solace in their family now can go online and find a literally insane group of people online that will push them down a rabbit hole that they should never go down. There should be people out there literally calling out these crazy people on these obscure forums. Like, you have those guys who are trying to be OG males who drug themselves at the age of like 14, like clavicular, that now can no longer reproduce, which honestly is probably a good thing, can no longer reproduce because all the drugs he's taken has completely made him infertile. Or those who constantly care about their looks, that they take drugs that will keep their hair growing instead of going bald gracefully. They constantly take pills to make their hair grow, to keep their hair, and then they end up again with the same problem of not really being able to hold it, to hold it. It's no longer really able to work for them. It's no longer really able to work for them. It's crazy. It's crazy. I watched the main character of Weak Hero series in School Days. Yeah. That's it. But I was thinking more glory. That story where that kind of bullying is insane. And that kind of bullying happens. Like, my wife has had experiences of bullying, and it's just crazy. It's crazy. Like, I've seen it in movies, but I've never personally really seen it, like, or experienced it. But yeah, it's crazy. That stuff is just insane. And the fact that people now could find online forums that help them. Because in the end, I mean, she would have probably been one of those people who close themselves off from society, that does her homework, does her thing, but online became her friend. She found, she can pretty herself. No. She would have closed herself off from society, just done her school, maybe did homeschool instead, been at home with parents, and that's it. eventually it'd be like one of those classic cheesy love stories where the girl, she gets bullied, she stays at home, but she's really that pretty but not pretty girl who just never bothered putting up makeup and stuff like that. And then she finally goes out after finishing her education. I'm literally depicting a movie, and she ends up bumping into a guy who ends up seeing her for who she truly is, and then starts talking to her, but she's so awkward and doesn't know how to speak to people that she brushes him off and thinks he's weird for talking to her because she doesn't talk to people. You know, that kind of cliche. I'm literally starting to picture the movie in my head. It's funny, I'm talking about it. Everyone's seen it. Everyone's seen the movie. Everyone's seen that movie. I just described a cliche romance movie, but everyone's seen it. Everyone's seen it. But yeah, there need to be people out there who actually step in and seek help, or help groups that have been formed for like parents seeking help for their children that have gone down the online pipeline, or like communities for children to reach out for parents who have gotten lost in the online pipeline, starting to do TikTok videos, cringy TikTok videos, roping in their kids. There have to be forums for this kind of stuff. There have to be outreaches, kind of like how there you can call a number for suicide hotline. Oh, crap, I can't say that word. For self-deletion hotline. They're just like you can call a number for police, just like you can call a number for the fire department, just like you can. There should be help groups for this. There should be. I wonder if there are. I don't think there are, but there should be help groups.
You guys got a video?
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Wait, where's that?